Hello, and welcome back to another episode and this is the first ever episode of Digging for Gold in Scryfall. So the whole idea of this series is that I really just want to try my best to show the old cards that maybe just don't get enough love anymore. It's hard to find cards to brew around, it's hard to find cards to build around. And I think that the best thing you can do is go to A, Scryfall, and B, click the random search button. If you enjoy Goblin's content, if you enjoy listening to me ramble, hit like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. If you want to do more support the channel, $1 a month gets named out on every stream. So usually when I go to Scryfall, the first thing that pops up is Goblin, because for me, of course, I search Goblin and Scryfall all the time. I like to read through all these cards, learn about some ones that I always forget about. Like, for example, Goblin Trenches is a card that I always forget about. It's a 3-mana enchantment. You can pay 2, sack a land, make 2 1/1s. That's pretty cool. It allows you to have no board, and then if you're flooding really bad, you can sack 1 land for 2 mana and make 2 bodies. And it's really, really good. So it may not be played a lot. Oh, the original art looks so sweet. I forgot. I didn't even know this happened. This had this. I've only ever seen this. I guess Eternal Masters art. Look at that crazy art. The ground rose and formed into thousands of tiny warriors. This fight was far from over. Is there more? No, it's just those printings. And this is the cool thing about Scryfall is you get to not only you learn of the history of the card, like what set it's originally from, but you also get to find really sweet stuff. So if I just hit random, this is Fecundity. Fecundity is originally from Urza Saga. It's a 3-mana enchantment. Whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may draw a card. Now this is really good with Persist. What was it? Putrid Goblin plus first day of class and a sack outlet. So Putrid Goblin Persist if this creature dies and it had no 1/1 counters on it, no -1/-1 counters on it. It comes back with a -1/-1 counter. Then first day of class. This is the Pauper combo actually. First day of class, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, this turn it gets a 1/1 counter and gains haste. And then the learn portion really isn't important. What matters is with a sack outlet like Skirk Prospector, you can sack a goblin to add a red mana. So just with Persist Goblin or Putrid Goblin, first day of class, and Skirk Prospector, you have infinite red mana and infinite ETBs and infinite death triggers. And look, you can even go to all the different arts of Skirk throughout the years. The original one's really cool. He finally found the diamond as the mine starts to collapse. I like goblins. They make funny little popping sounds when they die. Braids. Band and Commander braids is. You can actually go braids and look at the original braids. The original braids is a good, nice, light in the eyes character. The rifted multiverse became a sea of conflicting realities, each peopled by possible versions of every living being. Multiverse theory is just so cool, and the fact that Magic has a multiverse theory is just so hot. This is braids in a different dimension or a different timeline when they're evil. Home is where you can find a decent graveyard, and strangers can disappear without awkward questions. Really, really cool card. And then I didn't even know that this card existed. Braids Frightful Return. 3 mana for a saga with read ahead, which means that you can pick any of the chapters and you can just skip right to it. That art is crazy. You may sacrifice a creature. If you do, each opponent discards a card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Target opponent may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If they don't, they lose 2 life and draw a card. Okay, it's halfway decent. It doesn't have removal. Yeah, it doesn't have forced removal. One of my favorite sagas of all time is the Eldest Reborn. Reborb. Yeah, so this enters. Each opponent sacks a creature or planeswalker. Forced. Then chapter 2 is each opponent discards a card. And then 3 is you put a creature or planeswalker from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control. And so it's removal. It's card advantage because your opponents have to discard cards. It basically draws you, pseudo draws you cards. And then you get to reanimate some random thing from a graveyard. So if they ever discard like a big threat they can't cast, you just get to take it on chapter 3 if it survives. This was originally from Dominaria. I remember when this came out. It was one of my favorite cards to play. I would play this with, what was it, Rite of Belzenlock? That's another really cool saga. I tried playing this and Rites of Belzenlock. I do the glasses thing because I'm wearing contacts. Benzellock. Rite of Benzellock. It's a 4-mana saga. Enters and makes 2 0-1s twice. And then the third one is you make a 6/6 demon creature with flying. And at the beginning of your upkeep, sack another creature. If you can't, this deals 6 to you. But it doesn't tap itself. So you can technically kill them before it kills you, theoretically. Benzellock was also pretty cool. 6 mana for a 6/6 flying trample. When it enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, then put that card in your hand. If this card's mana value is 4 or greater, repeat this process. Benzellock deals 1 damage to you for each card in your hand this way. So it's kind of like Ad Nauseam, just a little bit. And then, like, as long as the card that you put in your hand, the non-land you put in your hand is CMC 4 or greater, you just get to keep looping it. So kind of what I want to do is I just want to click random a bunch of times and see if we can find something that's fun to talk about. I like this Carplusian Forest. This looks really sweet. It's like you got stone in the wood. It's like falling apart. Captain Lannery Storm. Let's go to the original print. Oh, they have a bunch of these. I don't know who Van is, but that's a pretty cool looking art. Lannery Storm was a really cool card in Ixalan. I believe this was original Ixalan. Allowing you to basically ramp in red, and whenever you sack a treasure, it gets a little bit bigger. People were saying that this card is essentially 2 mana, because when it comes down and if it gets to attack, you immediately get 1 of the mana back. And it's also fixing if you're playing like red, like, you know, Grixis Pirates, Admiral Bracket Brass. If I just look up brass. Yeah, Admiral Beckett, not Bracket, Beckett Brass. You and your ship will make a fine addition to my fleet. This is a 4-mana 3/3. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. Beginning of your end step, you gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who has dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates. So if you have like pirate tokens or really cheap pirates and you get to smack them, you play this on 4, smack the player who doesn't really have any creatures, you steal either a mana rock or some non-creature permanent, or if you have enough pirates, you can just punch around their blockers, still steal one of their best things. Really, really cool card. I've never got to see this card though. 5 mana for a 3/3. It's Grixis colors. When it enters the battlefield, you mill 4. Beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Its base power and toughness 4/4 gains haste until end of turn. I mean, it's pretty cool. You just like, I also like the age they show of like the next time that we see Admiral Beckett Brass. Everything's kind of messed up. They've gone to the city. They've gone to the lost city of Oraska, and they're able to basically, they released all the elder dinosaurs, right? So if we go to elder dinosaur, oh no, that's not the right term. So we can just look up like them individually. I don't think, oh, it's primal. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so it's gonna be hard to find them all, but yeah, so Zakama is the Amity. This one, of course, if you play EDH, you know that Zakama is ridiculously busted. 9 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, untap all lands you control. You can pay 3 2 generic and a red to deal 3 damage to a creature. You can pay 3, 2 generic and a green to destroy an artifact or enchantment, or you can pay 3, 2 generic and a white to gain 3 life. So it's kind of like Naya does all the things you want it to do, like super, super cool. Zitalpa is probably the worst. Ooh, probably the worst one. It's played mainly in like Soul Flare style of decks, where you're able to like staple these abilities onto a Soul Flare for 2 mana. Very, very strong in that deck. But I remember in Standard, this was probably the worst one. I really wanted Tezomach to be playable. Tezomach is... Oh, you can't read these unless I click on them. Tezomach is 6 mana for a 6/6. Pay a black. Reveal it from your hand. Put a prey counter on a creature. You can activate this only during your turn. It has Death Touch. And when it enters, you destroy each creature your opponents control with a prey counter on it. So I played this in like a black-white control deck where... I know, right? Not goblins. Oh, it's crazy. But like in Standard, sometimes we just don't have goblins. We did have some in Ixalan, but I wanted to try to brew with other things. This was back before I put my stipulation down that I wanted to only play goblins in every format. 1 second. So what I would usually do is I'd have a goblins deck and I'd have another funsies deck it was just like goofy stuff. Tezomach was really cool. I played it. I think it was in either black, white, or mono black. And the whole idea of it is you like kill their small creatures so they can't do chip damage, and then when they get the big creatures down, you just like basically have a murder on a stick. The issue with that is at the same set also had Ravenous Chupacabra. It was probably the cheapest that a murder has ever been on a creature. Like ETB murder a creature is like 1,000,000 times better than Nezuhal. Oh, nope, not that one. Anyways, this is another Primal Tide. The creature I'm thinking of is a 3 mana double black generic creature that says tap, destroy target non-black creature. Not only can Ravenous Chupacabra just ETB kill something, but it also is very, 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 very efficient at like blocking. So like the other creature, you'd have to tap to kill something, whereas Chupacabra enters, it kills something, and it can block and trade with something else. Nezuhal is really good. 7 mana, 7/7. Still played today. Not like the greatest card in the world, but it still does work. It can't be countered. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you get to draw, which is very good. And then you discard 3 cards, exile this, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So if they go to like board wipe or do something else, you can have it dive underneath the water and hide from your opponent's removal, which is pretty cool. If we go back. So we talked about Zitalpa. Primal Odin's crazy. This is, I think, probably one of the best sagas out of Final Fantasy. It's just insane that it's not really seeing any play. It's a really easy finisher. If you're able to hit them with it, you do have to do it in a very specific window, right? 6 mana ETB murder, so it's kind of like Chupacabra. The second mode is when this creature, it gains. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. And then chapter 3 is draw 2 cards, each player loses 2 life, but then it dies. So you only get that one window to attack with it and kill them. But if it works, it's so good. Take me back to Primal Surge. Hey, what's up, Jared? How you doing? Yeah, so Jared showed me this Goblins player who was playing Vintage Goblins with the Recruiter Snoop combo, which is chef's kiss. It's exactly what we did on stream with Nikachu in the Vintage section. If you want to go check that out, there'll be a link in the description. But yeah, it was super, super awesome to see somebody else playing Goblins, and it was the top tables. Like, I think they said that he went 7-2 in day 1. 9th with no power. Who needs it? Goblins OP. That makes me so happy because yeah, the deck felt really, really strong. You just need a little bit of acceleration with like Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Simian Spirit Guide. But then like if you're able to just like get your combo down uncounterable with Cavern, there's not much that your opponents can do. There's not a lot of spot removal in Vintage, and even when there is, we have stuff like Goblin Recruiter to just like get the right cards that we need to survive. I'm super, super happy that somebody did well with Vintage Goblins. That makes me so happy. Primal Surge is a really cool build around. There's a lot of games where you just have it, and if it resolves, you just flip your entire deck because you play nothing but. This is the only non-permanent, or this is the only card in the deck that's not a permanent. And that's the right way to say that. And so, yeah, Primal Surge was really cool back in the day. Big shout out to the legend. Big shout out to the legend. Vintage Goblins. We see a Chrome Mox here, a Skirk Prospector, a Shatter Skull Smashing, a beautiful signed mountain with a Wario symbol, I think. Mox Ruby, a Lackey, and a Snoop. Absolutely awesome. After you win the RC, you can buy yourself a play set of Chrome Moxen. That'll be the goal. Let's win the RC, qualify for Pro Tour Lorwyn, buy Chrome Moxes, so then we can play the closest thing to power that we can. Yeah, no. I have a question. Why is there a Mox Ruby? If this is no power, why is there a Mox Ruby? I could be I could be crazy. Maybe this is just a mana token, but I trust there was no power in this deck. The deck list that I saw was no power. Let me see. Primal Order, beginning of each player's upkeep, deals damage equal to the player equal to the number of non-basics they control. That's super sweet. Oh, that's a different player. Oh, for sure, for sure. That means there's 2 Vintage Goblin players? Woo! That makes me so fucking happy. Okay. Maybe they'll jump in the chat sometime. I would love that if they knew about the channel. We could talk numbers. But yeah, basically, there's just a lot of really cool that are super, like, what is it? Undervalued because they're forgotten about, right? Like, Primal Growth is Harrow, but instead of having to sacrifice a land, you sacrifice a creature, which is in a lot of decks is just straight up better. There's 2 Goblin players. That's actually, that makes me so happy. Primal Command used to be playable in Modern. It was 5 mana, player gains 7 life. Put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. Target player shuffles his or his library. Search the library for a creature card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So the best thing you could do with Primal Command back in the day was, well, first off, if you're playing against Death Shadow, this is kind of like a murder all your Death Shadows card because you get to go, you gain 7 life, and then shuffle your graveyard into your library. Or one of the best cards in Ponza because not only does it gain you life so you can stabilize, but it can also grab you an Eternal Witness to pick up either a Stone Rain or a Primal Command. And then you can also use it to put an opponent's land on top of their library, basically pseudo-locking them. And then if you have like a Karn board with Karn, the Great Creator, you could grab yourself a Conjurer's Closet. This one. So once you grab Conjurer's Closet from your Karn board, you can every turn flicker your Eternal Witness, which then allows you to pick up your Primal Command, and then your Primal Command allows you to put a land on top of your opponent's library and search for another creature. So you're constantly adding to the board, you're building up the loop, and then eventually your opponent just can't cast spell or never draws another non-land spell because you're putting the same land on top of their deck over and over and over again. It's really, really cool. So then we go back, Scryfall, random card, and we reset it. Let's see what this is. Living More. This is a 4-mana creature avatar. It enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Power and toughness equal to the mana value of the exiled card. When it deals combat damage, you may sack it. If you do, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. This is dumb. I feel like, you exile something really busted, like, what's a good instant or sorcery that we could do? Advanced search, white, or let's just do blue. Blue. It's not to Commander. Mana cost, format sets, rarity, criteria, prices, artists. Here we go. Sorcery. Instant. Partial type matches. Search for these options. So let's just like look through some of these because I don't know a lot of these blue instants. Access denied. 5 mana counter spell. Make X 1/1 colorless stop to artifact creatures with flying or X that spell's mana value. Okay, so this is kind of like mana drain for 3 extra mana, but it gives you a bunch of bodies. I could see that. The Sabia futurist guards their secret experiments with ever-evolving networks of cutting-edge defensive technology. Sabia futurists. I don't know what set this is from. Oh, it's Neon Dynasty. There we go. That's why it's nice to have the options to look at where it's from. Absorb identity from Kaldheim. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You may have shapeshifters you control become copies of that creature until end of turn. After copy, it makes your shapeshifters. Accumulated knowledge is really cool. The first one is a draw 1, the second one's a draw 2, the third one's a draw 3, and the fourth one's a draw 4. Abjure is really interesting because it doesn't say counter target spell. It says on the stack as a cost, then you counter the spell. Acid Rain. Oh, this is one I have to make a short about. Acid Rain is 4 mana for a sorcery. You get to destroy all forests in play. That seems pretty good. That seems pretty good. It looks like my Wi-Fi is starting to go downhill, so I'm gonna end the stream pretty soon. Acquire. Acquire is 5 mana. Search target opponent's library for an artifact card. Put that card in a play under your control. That player then shuffles his or her library. Sometimes innovation means stealing another secret before anyone else can. I mean, this is real. This is like real life intellectual stuff. All right, I can see my Wi-Fi is going downhill really fast, and so I just want to say thank you all so much for being here. This has been the first episode of Scryfall. I kind of want to do more of these where I go through all the cards that I can on Scryfall before my Wi-Fi completely craps out on me. And I just want to say thank you all so much for being here. If you enjoy Goblin's content, if you enjoy this, we ramble, hit like and subscribe. Easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. If you want to do more, support the channel, $1 a month, because name it out on every stream. I'm going to read off the members, and then I'm going to go. We might do some gameplay later. I've been feeling really, really tired. Probably battling another bug. I've been getting sick a lot recently. I think it's because I've been trying to do too much. Maybe doing 8 shorts a day, a live and a video, just is too much, and it's a lot on my brain, and so I might have to slow down. I'm gonna make a post about it. I'm gonna poll everything to see what the people think, but I'm gonna try to stream earlier. I'm trying to not stay up as late, get more sleep so I can rest for the RC, and we'll see how I do. Thank you so much for being here. From the top, Alpha Ronan, Tim's Top Decks, Elias Sutter, The Darth Newt, ADY100K, Jared Munsterman, and Ann Riberio, Cypher777, The High Wumpus, AJR, B Rhyme, Corvisker, Sliver of No, Scott McIntosh, Javier Hugo, Valeroth, Yormiger, Darius, Nito Burrito, Trucker Philosophy, The Green Ranger, Stanton McCain, and you. Thank you so much for being here. It really means the world to me. And we'll do another episode of Scryfall, Digging for Gold, soon, and I really enjoy these things because I love talking about cards and how they're connected in the history and like my experiences with them. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content, and until next time, I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.